Deputy President Kithure Kindiki has criticized leaders who incite the public without offering tangible solutions to the challenges facing Kenyans, calling for a shift towards issue-based politics focused on unity and development. Speaking during a funeral service in Elbagon Molo, Kindiki said it was the responsibility of leaders to seek solutions rather than fuel division and unrest. He condemned the rise of divisive politics and warned that such approaches had historically pushed the country down dangerous paths. The Deputy President cautioned Kenyans against embracing leaders who promote incitement and political intolerance, terming such tactics as outdated and harmful to national cohesion.
Those politics of violence, division, incitement are old-fashioned politics. We must resist those politics as a country. Na wale wanaunda vyama, there is no problem. Kila mtu aunde chama, ule anataka kuunda chama, there is no problem. Lakini wacha kusema hii ni chama ya kabila hii ama dini hii. Sema hii ni chama ya Wakenya wote. Ile ingine ikuwe ni ya Wakenya, alafu tu campaign. Wakati wa campaign ikifika tumenyane. Jua kuna watu wamejaa kiburi, ujeuri, maringo, madharau. Hii dunia tumehubiriwa, sisi zote tulalala tutaenda. Na hakuna mtu atabeba zozote.
Businessman Philip Aroko, a key suspect in the murder of Kasipul, Member of Parliament Charles Berry, has been released on a cash bail of 300,000 Kenya shillings, following a ruling by the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport Law Courts. Principal Magistrate Irene Gishobe issued the bail with strict conditions, including an order for Aroko to surrender his passport and a restriction against travelling to Homa Bay County, the late MP's home region. The court further banned Aroko from contacting the deceased family, fellow suspects, or any person linked to the case. Is also prohibited from tampering with evidence and must report regularly to investigative officers and cooperate fully with the ongoing investigations. The prosecution had opposed Aroko's release, citing the high public interest surrounding the case and the need for further inquiry into his role. They argued for his detention for 7 days, saying his continued custody will aid investigations and possibly lead to formal charges or exoneration. Aroko is one of 11 individuals under investigation in connection with the MP's death. The court had scheduled the next mention of the case for 3rd June 2025.
Pearl Newsbeat.
For University of Nairobi, council members, including Chairperson Professor Anangwe, have been arrested by officers from the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission over allegations of abuse of office. Professor Anangwe was apprehended in Kisumu, while the other 3 council members, whose identities are yet to be disclosed, were arrested in Nairobi. All 4 were taken to the EACC headquarters at Integrity Center for questioning. The arrest come amid ongoing scrutiny of the university's top management and governance, with allegations of mismanagement and power struggles affecting institutional operations and academic functions. The development follows a recent standoff between the UN Council and the Ministry of Education regarding the appointment of a new Vice-Chancellor. The Council, under Professor Anangwe's leadership, had named Kenya's ambassador to Belgium and the European Union, Professor Bitangen Demo, as a new VC, a decision that reportedly triggered a friction within the ministry. The latest actions by the EACC signal intensifying investigations into governance concerns at one of Kenya's leading public universities.
Pearl Newsbeat.
Female inmates at Shimo Tewa prisons are set to gain new skills following the launch of a modern workshop at the facility. The initiative was unveiled by the First Lady Rachel Ruto as part of a national program to empower women behind bars. The new workshop joins similar facilities already established in Langate, Kisumu, Kakamega and Kitale prisons. The First Lady emphasized that the program not only impairs skills but also promotes social enterprise principles, transforming prisons into spaces of empowerment and economic opportunity.
Today, Shimalatewa Women's Prison joins Langata, Kisumu, Nakuru, Kakamega, and Kitale as hosts of Karakana, extending this opportunity to more women to learn, create, earn, and support their families while preparing for life beyond these walls. This integrated model does not just equip women with skills, it embeds social enterprise principles, turning correctional facilities into incubators of empowerment and economic potential. And step forward.
The Kenya Wildlife Service has disbursed a total of 45 million shillings in compensation to 22 families in Taita, Taveta County affected by human and wildlife conflict. The payment is part of ongoing government efforts to address the challenges faced by communities living near wildlife habitats. KWS Director General Erastus Kanga noted that wildlife is widespread across the country and plays a significant role in the economy through tourism. Last year, the tourism sector generated over 60 billion Kenya shillings revenue that supports national national development. Kanga added that KWS is working on strategies to ensure part of this tourism revenue directly benefits communities impacted by wildlife. The move aims to strengthen collaboration between the public and the KWS in conserving wildlife and their habitats.
Wanyama wako kila mahali na tunafurahia hiyo mapato ya wanyama, na mwaka uliopita tuliweza kupata more than 460 billion kutoka kwa tourism, na hiyo pesa inakuja kusaidia hii nchi. So tutaweka mikakati ya kwamba part of the tourism revenues that we get in this country inakuja kusaidia wananchi.
Ethiopia's main opposition party, the Tigray People's Liberation Front, has called on the African Union to intervene following a decision by the country's electoral board to revoke its status as a legally registered political party. The National Election Board of Ethiopia announced on Wednesday that it had deregistered the TPLF for failing to conduct a general assembly, a requirement for political parties under Ethiopian law. The TPLF, which currently leads the Tigray's interim administration, described the decision as dangerous and a serious threat to the fragile peace established by the Pretoria Agreement that ended the 2-year civil war in the northern Tigray region. In a letter addressed to the AU, the TPLF urged the continental body to exert pressure on the federal government to suspend enforcement of the deregistration. The party argued that the move violates the peace deal signed in November 2022, which stipulated that all political issues between the federal government and the TPLF would be resolved through dialogue.
Pearl Radio, the home of fresh and classic hits.